Hello, fellow Reachers, and Happy New Year. We're back with a brand new podcast, and there's even more controversy this year.
More Mong news is on the horizon?
Yeah, so we've got a lot of Mong news, as the Mongs are active. But James is inactive, which has made it into Mong news, because he hasn't uploaded anything for a fair... Isn't it like 2 months now?
It is. It's becoming quite concerning. We haven't heard from him on Facebook, and on both his YouTube channels, he has just gone completely silent. So I think it's either a lack of ideas or the community that's come and banded together to try and get rid of him may have possibly worked.
Well, all I can say is, you know, he's got a contract for the Shite Files. I think that ends in February. You know, it's not looking good if he doesn't turn up and do his job, because he's literally been paid money for getting shat on by various little creatures.
So the Shite Files at the moment is top priority. We've also tried to get him back for Bala James Morey Series 3, which is still in a status of pre-production.
He's not having any of it. I think he was a bit unhappy with how it ended. You know, I think he wanted more of a glamorous death or something, or I think he is annoyed about how we interpreted his other self.
And his rivalry with Gareth Archer.
As a sort of levitating green tranny, but I don't really know what his problem is. But anyway, moving on from that, he just hasn't uploaded anything, so that's a bit lazy of him.
So what we've decided to do, and you can help us out, we've got a PDF file linked in the description to a lost and found poster. So if you can pin that up in your local county, then hopefully we'll be able to find James Johnson.
Well, if you can just try the local council estates, because I think that's where he'll be more known to be hiding, especially, you know, a man of his sort of status. He doesn't go out anywhere, so I think the only people that will know him are his viewers, which is nil, and his neighbours, which is obviously, you know, either side of him. So with a bit of luck, we might find him.
Let's hope so. We've actually had quite an interesting email from Bob Cheddar Chips, also known as Hungry Bob. To those who know him personally, he's a long-time viewer of the show, and he's actually sent in quite an informative email saying that he has since become a bounty hunter in 2020. And he's been trying to lure out James for the past few months with no success. But he has advised if you've got a box of Twinkies, that might encourage him to come out of his hiding place.
Yeah, because what he likes to do with the Twinkies is take one or two and then say he's going to bin them, but then just scoff the lot when the camera's turned off.
He just binges them all at once.
Well, that's why he looks like a Twinkie. I mean... They say the famous phrase is "you are what you eat," and he definitely looks like a fat, sort of like girthy Twinkie.
So look out for one of those lingering in your neighbourhood, just in case. The other side of Mong news comes from Dominic Calvitto, surprisingly.
Right, I haven't heard about him for a few months.
He's one of the more irrelevant Mongs that we've brought onto the show and discussed topically in the famous episode that got pulled, surprisingly, by the network.
Yeah. Well, Calvitto, for those of you that don't know, is the failed comedian / director. I mean, you need to call him a comedian because, you know, he thinks that his movie is a serious sort of horror movie, but really it's just a comedy. So I would borderline that as being a comedian. And yeah, that's him in a nutshell.
He has become self-aware. So after the brutal annihilation and review that we delivered of his so-called movie, he has since removed it from the internet.
Well, that's just the best news of the year, and it's only the first day of the year.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
So looking like a good year so far. James is gone. And
so is Calvitto's movie, so absolutely brilliant. It's like a silly bang commercial, but quite literally, we are removing filth from the internet. So
the vendetta is currently underway.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just glad that film has been taken down and removed from existence, because, I mean, after the year we had in 2020, that is just the last thing that we needed to remain on this earth. And thankfully, less people are aware of that film now that it's been taken down. So.
Exactly. So now it'll just be nothing more than a very bad memory.
Well, I mean, the campaign that we launched to get rid of that film has paid off, clearly.
Definitely so. I mean, the amount of dislikes that movie received after we spoke about it, there was unbelievable support to get rid of said movie.
Well, not only did you have disability rights activists, angry about the way disabled people were sort of used in that movie, and going against like trust funds like "Help, my face is falling off, I look like a gremlin." He sort of used people that look like complete travesties and exploited them in his movies. So I think the days of the freak show are over. I think the last thing we needed is that hate film just promoting against sort of like disabilities and stuff like that.
Exactly so. I mean, one of them actually spoke out. Good old Goblin woman.
Yes. Yeah. She has to be referred to as that name.
Well, it turns out she is actually a man.
Right, but she likes to be called Goblin. That's interesting.
Yeah, so we are obviously proud supporters of tranny activism.
Well, I mean, it's just strange that she likes to be referred to as a woman, but he is really a man.
And also a goblin.
But again, you can identify yourself as anything these days. If I wanted to identify myself as a toaster, I could. So if a man that looks like a goblin wants to be identified as a goblin woman, then fair play.
I mean, funnily enough, and I don't know whether or not we will get time to bring on Goblin Woman onto the show. But I've got a list of guests for this year, and surprisingly, she has made it to the top of the list of most requested guests to come on the series. So Goblin Woman may be on a show in the near future.
I'd love to interview that about the mistreatment on the set of Running Away from the Unknown and the abuse that faced.
Definitely. I mean, it's about time that as a podcast and as a community, we did band together to not only eradicate shite from the internet, but also to help encourage those that have been affected by said shite. And Goblin Woman could be our exemplary kind of example to go ahead with this movement.
Well, I think just after the humiliation that it faced during the filming of that, I think we can only do her justice by sort of making her feel more empowered about herself by sticking her in the sound booth cupboard and just seeing what happens. I mean, our viewers know what goes on in there. It can be a very liberating experience for for any self-proclaimed Goblin woman.
Certainly can. But for an extra treat, we've actually managed to get hold of Lance Anderson to go and fetch some fireworks for us for the end of the show. So to bring in the new year, what he's managed to orchestrate for us, we've got some fireworks, and he's also managed to get hold of Calvitto to come into the sound booth temporarily.
Oh, great. So Calvitto is going to give us a little firework display, even though we can't see or hear anything that happens in that booth.
Exactly.
So the question is, why is he in the booth?
This was an idea emailed in by Auntie Brenda, the child snatcher, open brackets. I'm not a child molester. She suggested we seal Calvitto in a small, confined space and set off some fireworks around him.
Is there a reason why we're doing this?
Well, she's just put as punishment for that god-awful movie.
Right, okay, well, we'll try our best, but I don't think he's going to willingly go in there.
Yeah.
We'll just have to see what happens, try and lure him in.
But anyway, our next feature we've got, to really round off 2020 on a more positive note, we've got Joe Worthington in this afternoon to host Rear of the Year and Queer of the Year for 2020.
Isn't he also doing the weather?
Apparently he is auditioning, so we're going to have some inductions later in certain episodes spread over the course of the year to try and find us a new weather presenter.
Right. Well, hopefully we can find one that's suitable, because they've got literally the line that they're trying to sort of surpass is incredibly low, because Gareth was a shit weather presenter.
He started off good and then decided to scam us.
Obviously more on that in one of the previous episodes, but if you fancy checking out that story, watch the relevant podcast.
Anyway, so we've got Rear of the Year and Queer of the Year to go through. Lance has also said he wanted to come on to speak his mind about something. I'm not really too sure what that was, but obviously we'll see what happens.
Hopefully it's nothing controversial about gays.
Exactly. I'd certainly hope not.
With the queen of the gays in the studio, I certainly hope he's not going to say anything offensive.
We wouldn't want to offend him.
We most certainly wouldn't.
So shall we bring in Joe to... I don't really know how he's going to go about actually hosting this or what he's really got planned, but shall we bring him in to start off with Rear of the Year?
Let's do that, yeah, right. Let's let him in, I guess, right.
Has he been here long?
I think he's had a good 2-hour wait.
Ah, right.
So I'll just open the door. Oh, that's a nice suit, Joe.
Yes. Right, where do I sit?
Oh, well, we've got a nice, comfortable seat for you with your signature cushion there, Joe, so your arse can be comfy.
Oh, brilliant.
Yep, so there you go.
It's great to have you back here in the studio, Joe. How have you been this past couple of months?
I have been very erect, as they might say.
Anything in particular that's aroused you?
Oh, yes. I was listening to the Reicher podcast, and I am very turned on by Big Paulie.
Well, we'll have to get you in a room together at some point.
I think he may swing that way as well. So you're in luck, if anything.
That could be good news for you, Joe.
Anyway, Joe, do you want to sort of just pick your personal favourite Mongs, I guess, or Reichers throughout the past year, who you feel are deserving of the title Rear of the Year, because you would know more about that subject than anyone else.
I mean, can you clarify what exactly Rear of the Year is, Joe?
Yes. Rear of the Year is when you look at someone and you think to yourself, oh my God, I would like to bum them, basically. And there's been a lot of that this year for me. And, for example, that hunky Josh Sullivan from Josh Sullivan's YouTube channel, I would like to bum him because he has a very nice rear. And for me, he is the Rear of the Year.
So you like Josh Sullivan's rear?
You enjoy Josh Sullivan in a homosexual way?
Yes, he is a very hunky man. And I will headhunt his girlfriend and I will personally kill her for going out with him because he is mine. He is mine and I will have his rear very soon.
That's a bit possessive there, Joe.
Yeah, Joe, I think that sounds borderline rape for that.
Yes, but don't worry. I will force him to have consent.
Well, again, Joe, I don't think you can force anyone to have consent.
That kind of defeats the the purpose there, Joe. I'm not one to judge for how you handle yourself, but that kind of behaviour could get you put in prison.
Oh, I don't want that. Well, actually, I've heard that bum sex is very good there, so I might want that. I don't know. We'll have to find out in 2021.
Well, that's a Rear of the Year, and you've also apparently you've also come to us with Queer of the Year as well. So you've apparently chosen, I presume, a gay person that you've favoured this year?
Oh, yes, they're very gay, I'd say, anyway. And without further ado, the Queer of the Year 2020 is me!
Well, that was unexpected there, Joe.
Yeah, so can you just talk us through that again? So, Rear of the Year.
Yes, Rear of the Year is hunky Josh Sullivan.
I'm sorry, Joe, do you keep saying Josh Sullivan?
Yes, because I was looking at his sexy bum online and I was looking at his name as well and it said Josh Sullivan. And I thought, why is he called that? He's not a van. So I decided to come up with a gay idea and rename him to Josh Sullivan, man.
Right.
I mean, it makes sense from your perspective, I guess, there, Joe.
Again, I don't think he'd appreciate you calling him Josh Sullivan or Solomon.
Or gay, for that matter.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he is gay. He's got a girlfriend.
Oh, don't worry. We will soon take care of her in 2021.
Right, well, just as a legal obligation, I would just like to personally state that the Extra Reach, the Reicher podcast, and any foundation of the Reicher family or the Partridgedale Trust is not associated with that of Joe Worthington.
No, I think his beliefs are very wrong, to say the least. Anyway, Joe, thanks for that.
Hang on, Joe, I've got a question for you.
Yes.
Right, well, just sit myself down. Right. So, basically, I just wanted some sort of, clarification because I've been learning these words online, right? And basically what I've sort of discovered, right? Homosexuals, right? I don't mind them, but gays, I can't fucking stand them.
You do know it's one of the same thing, don't you, Lance?
What do you mean?
Well, what I mean, Lance, is that it's the same thing. It's just expressed as a different word.
What we're basically trying to tell you is that two words can actually have the same meaning.
What do you mean two different words can have the same meaning?
Oh dear, I think you are in a pickle.
Yeah. I think you've kind of confused. You're just kind of a bit confused there, Lance, which is perfectly fine. I mean, I wouldn't lose any sleep over it, but yeah, you've made a pretty silly mistake there.
So what is it that I do and don't like? Because me, I like women and that, so...
So I think you're thinking of heterosexual, Lance.
Well, what's that then?
Yeah, that's where you like women or you like the opposite gender to what you are. As someone like Joe here, who is a fully fledged homosexual man, he obviously likes the same genitalia.
Right, well, I don't have an issue with him, but gays of any sort, I'm just not into them.
Well, I think Joe Worthington would disagree.
But I don't mind him because he's homosexual. But gay people...
Right. I think we'll end this here because I think Joe's getting a bit... I mean, he hasn't spoken a word within 20 seconds, and that's very unusual and unlike him. So we might be borderline offensive here if we continue with the discussion.
I think you should leave us to it, Lance, because we don't want to upset Joe with any kind of material you might say, which we're not saying that you're intentionally going out to insult him, but you may be offending him with your ignorance.
Well, it's not only that, but he's going to be doing the weather in a bit, and we kind of don't want him crying on air.
Right, well, I'm very sorry if offended anyone. I don't quite get all the terms that they sort of use nowadays. So, I'm very sorry, Joe.
It's all sort of liquid lube under the bridge to me.
Right, well, Lance is leaving us to it.
Yeah, so Joe, you are scheduled to do the weather. So take it away.
Yes. Welcome, everyone, to the weather with Joe Worthington. I do like my name because it's got an O in it, and it reminds me of the anus of Josh Sullivan. Anyway, the weather for today, tomorrow, and the rest of the month, it's actually coming. Now, if you don't know my terminology, weather terminology, come means snow, because it's sort of white and it gets you all excited when you have a look at it outside your window. So rain would be lube. So if it's a rainy day, I would say it's lubing outside because it looks like lube, and I quite like to rub it all over my penis when I'm thinking of Josh Sullivan. Now, if it's a particularly sunny day, I would just go all out and just say, look at that butt plug in the sky.
Right. So, can you... Sorry, Joe. I think I might have just zoned out a bit there, but can you actually just explain to us what the weather is going to be for the rest of the month, instead of using all of that weird phrasing?
Why are you using these vulgar terms? Where did they originate from?
They originated originally from County Durham, which is where all the gays go. But anyway, they originated from me because I'm the king gay and I love to be gay and come up with all these fancy terminologies. I think that's a word.
Right, okay. If you're going to continue the weather here, Joe, you need to be very, a bit less vulgar, because Gareth, I don't know if you watched any of his weather broadcasts, but he wasn't the brightest man, but, you know, he managed to coherently read the weather forecast to everyone.
Okay.
So if you can just do that again.
Yes. Hello and welcome to Joe Worthington Weather Gaze. Now, what we're going to be doing here is discussing the weather. It's going to be snowy in January. And I would just love, I don't know if anyone else would love to do this, but I would love to go out into the garden and build a snowman that looks a bit like Josh Sullivan and just ram it until it's fucking nothing.
No, I don't think anyone else would. Should we move on from this segment now?
I think we're going to have to. I mean, I don't know why you've decided to bring these vulgar terms into it, Joe. I mean, it's snowing, therefore it's coming. Where did that come from?
Well, when I was a little boy, maybe around 5 or 6, my mum used to say, when it was snowing outside, look, it's coming, because it looks like cum, because it's white and it's snowing. And then my dad would come in and be like, right, get the cucumber. This boy's going to get a beating on his bum for saying cum. So it was my mum's fault, really. She just likes to watch me get fondled with a cucumber.
I think we've uncovered too much there, so we'll leave that as it is. Obviously, we will be in touch if your weather forecast services are required, Joe. We've got a couple of other contestants to run through over the months, so we will bear you in mind.
Yes.
Did you come in a limousine today, Joe?
Yes. It's outside.
Well, I hate to break it to you, Joe, but there's no limousine outside.
Oh, no!
He was only joking, Joe.
Oh. Well, I'd better get going because your friendly neighbourhood cock gobbler has a few dick appointments.
Right, okay. Bit too much information there, Joe.
Right, well, you obviously have things to attend to, so we'll leave you to go and do that, I suppose. And I guess we've got Annoying James Johnson.
Yeah, Annoying James Johnson, so I'll just let Carlos Becker out of the studio. Oh, bloody hell. It's off by Mo Farah, that one. What? Bloody hell.
Yum! Cock!
Right, he's flown out of the studio, all excited to get his cock, I guess.
His fix.
Yeah, bloody hell. Don't know how they do it, those gay people. Talk about being on the Lucasade energy.
Shall we jump to the comments for Annoying James Johnson?
Yeah, let's do that.
I'm just scrolling through the entries for this week, and surprisingly, we've got quite a lot of entries from guerrilla Nazis.
Really? Wow. I'm glad that that's a demographic we cater towards.
It's a new demographic. It's not one that I've actually been familiar with myself, but I guess we should dedicate this month's Annoying James Johnson to this band of Nazi guerrillas.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a new uprising, I'd be interested to see their views and opinions on the current shape of the world, and maybe they've got some advice.
Maybe we'll have to see if we can get one of them to come on the show, but until then, do you want to give us a start with the comments of this month?
Yeah, brilliant. So I love the theme of this one, actually. I think this might be my favourite theme of the Annoying James Johnson song.
We should try and theme them every month.
Yeah, well, I'd be happy with just sticking to the MechaNazi vibe. I think it's a really positive energy vibe.
Let's see what they've said.
Anyway, let's. The first one comes from a very sophisticated gentleman called Gorillazoid MechaNazi 5. I love that name. I love how menacing that name is. And he says, I hereby declare this channel officially dead As part of the Nazi order of the Gorilla Ape robot men, our Führer will be pleased when I report this news. I may get banana cheese scumbag.
Oh, fantastic.
Wow, what a positive comment.
I hope he does get his banana.
Well, if that doesn't influence people to keep making content, I really don't know what would.
Hopefully that will bring James out of his dark years on the channel, since he has basically been very inactive this past 2 years, I'd like to say, and his content seems to have been steeping downward in a spiraling direction.
Yeah, like we don't want him to spiral out of control anymore. He may die. So.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Takes us to the next comment comes in from MechaZoid Gorilla Freud 19. And this one is very much in German, but it looks to be an insult to James's mother, which reads as, Ich hasse den Geist und dein Mutter, bedig dich auf Konflikt vor.
Wow.
He also says, I will commit a war, I am serious, I will do my ape kind a well Nazi New Year Hail Führer.
Wow. Well, I mean, I love these comments. It's almost a struggle to rate these comments, actually, because they're all that good.
I mean, if we're going to be fair to the Ape Mecha Nazi Party, I think we should, as a whole, congratulate them and maybe reward each and every one of them with a banana.
I think we should maybe this episode crown them all winners.
I think that would be very fair, because looking at these next few, I mean, with the next one comes in from Mecha Gorilla von Bolch.
Right.
And he's straight in there with the action. He comes to us with, where is the treasure? I will fight your mother. I will shit down your throat if you do not answer me. And tell that whore called Courtney, if she wants to live under our rule, she has to worship Mega Gorilla Nazi Murgatroid 4. By the way, mate, your breath stinks of tuna and piss.
I mean, I couldn't agree more.
I think they're not only raising very articulate points, but they're really striking on some of the most important key aspects of James's channel.
Well, I just think they're just bringing a whole new positive vibe to the entire Annoying James Johnson saga.
Oh, fantastic.
And the next one comes in from General Erich von Schnetzel, who I think is the commander of the main high general of this movement. And what he has to say is, may I have your attention, please? No mercy for you today. No mercy for you. Die, 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 die.
That sounds like a general that is very competent and gets things done.
Well, it just sounds like the kind of general that you'd want leading an army of mecha robots. And, I just think his message overall is just very positive. And, there's a lot of positive energy there.
I agree.
Anyway, I do believe we have one more.
Excellent, let's hear it.
Right, the next one comes in from oh no. I think you might have to read this one because I have no fucking... my German's not as good despite being based in Germany.
Let's have a look. So, this comes in from Nazi Gorilla Mega Scrote Stopper II. And he just says, now you listen here, you silly Bristol Mac. I will check your scrot for the bombs. If there is no bombs, I will put a bomb under your scrot for immediate detonation. Our Führer will rise, idiot.
I mean, I just think that is one of the more motivational comments that's been left. I am quite tempted to crown that one the winner, really.
I think we should call it a draw, but I definitely suggest if any Nazi guerrilla apes are listening, then definitely continue your barrage on James's channel, because it's clearly working.
Well, I'd just be interested in having a chat. If anyone from high command can come in and have a chat with us, I'd be very interested. And I'd be very interested in any leaflets that you have as well to join your movement, because I think it just sounds such a positive and enlightening movement that you've got going on there.
And if you ever need any marketing or support, then just let us know. Reach out. Our email address is reacherpodcast@gmail.com.
And the general has sent in a photograph of himself, and he looks very handsome, to say the least, and very serious about what he's about the message he's spreading.
He is certainly a stunner, so I think we should arrange for that to go on the thumbnail.
I think due to all of the sort of like insignia and everything, I think the message, because there's a lot of bright red colours, it's a very positive sort of vibe. I think there might be a band of hippies, but I'm not sure.
Well, we'll have to make sure that the General Eric can clarify that for us.
Yeah, well, if they're all about peace, I'm definitely into that.
So hopefully we'll hear from the MechaNaziApe party next month.
Can't wait. Right, what's next on the agenda?
I guess with the New Year's celebration, it's only fair that we light some fireworks.
Yeah, was that in the sound booth with Dominic?
Yeah, so what Lance Anderson has done is he's lured Dominic into the sound booth with a promise of him being featured as a B-list celebrity rather than a Z-list celebrity.
Right. I wonder why he did that.
Well, he's in there now hoping to be successful.
So, are we going to get the fireworks out?
Well, what was interesting as well is that Lance has also set up all the fireworks in the sound booth as well.
So, those fireworks, are they just going to go from wall to wall in there?
I would imagine so.
Wow.
So,
see him.
Exactly, or hear him for that matter.
It is a shame that we don't have a little GoPro in there.
Well, even though we don't have a GoPro in there, we do actually have a very small microphone.
Oh, good. So we can still listen to him scream in pain.
Exactly.
That's great.
So, Lance, if you wanted to do the honours and light the fuse.
We should do this more often.
I think we should. I mean, we celebrate a lot of things on this show. You know, equality, Nazism.
Yeah, I mean, with Nazism, it's a very positive message of. I think John Lennon was a. I think John Lennon was a Nazi, wasn't he?
I believe so. He was a pretty big Nazi of that.
Well, I mean, all the sort of Nazis throughout history, sort of like Gandhi and all that.
Gandhi was the biggest Nazi.
I don't know. I think John Lennon was pretty big.
Oh, well, you should have seen what he had printed on that loincloth of his.
Oh, well, I mean, isn't I've read somewhere that Miley Cyrus is also a Nazi, but I don't know.
I think that would be unverified, so we don't want to libel Miley Cyrus as a Nazi.
I read somewhere that George Lucas was one as well.
Well,
but
that doesn't surprise me.
No, he's a very nice man. So
But with the theme of George Lucas, let us light the fireworks and ensure that Calvitto is screaming in pain to bring in the new year.
Well, I heard it's quite good therapy, so really we're doing him a lot of help.
Well, he removed that stupid movie off the internet, so perhaps this is a new chapter in his life.
Right, Lance, I guess you better get lighting that fuse. Biggest ever sellout in the studio audience as well today, because everyone was so annoyed about Calvitto making him watch that horrible film. They came to watch him suffer through Fireworks. So,
without further ado, I guess, shall we do the countdown?
Yeah, let's do that. Right, everyone in the audience.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
2. Oh, wow. I mean, the good thing is he's not suffering too much because the fireworks in there are just loud. I don't think they can cause any harm.
Yeah, I don't think the explosions are too drastic. So at least if he does catch on fire or anything like that, he can just sort of roll around on the soundproof matting in there.
Well, we've got a flame retardant rug in there that he can just squirm onto.
Anyway,
So,
it looks as though that was it. There was only a few moments of fireworks there, but I hope we got him at least. Shall we review?
No way, I'm sure we've got more fireworks in the back.
Excellent. Well, we'll keep hold of those. Lance, do you want to go and see the damages?
Let's have a look at him. Right. Hang on. He's not in here.
Oh, what? You joking?
He's not there.
What? Where is he then? Oh, wait a minute. What the hell?
Yeah, I came out from the back because I done found like a hidden passageway that I could crawl through. And I ended up in the toilet, so it was great. Shit and everything. Someone's forgot to flush the toilet, so it was great for me, but probably not for anyone else who doesn't like shit and stuff like that.
Oh, well, you've kind of fucked everything up now because the audience paid more. They paid double to see you suffering. So I guess what we're going to do, audience, is everyone's got the fireworks that were put under their seat just in case anything happened. Point and aim, I guess.
Oh, what? Wait, no. I don't want that. Oh, no. Run. Oh,
fucking. There he is now, Lee.
He's diving down the stairs like a rat.
Yeah, I mean, I think he missed a few steps there as well, so maybe twisted an ankle, who knows, but
I guess the audience got their injuries worth.
Yeah, I mean, a few of them are actually chasing him now. I can see outside.
That is commitment.
A few are actually haven't set off the fireworks, but they've got him on the floor, they've pinned him down, and they've actually just using the fireworks as a sort of baseball bat, and they're just taking it in turns to sort of whack him like a piñata.
Oh, God, look at what that one's doing. He's pulled down his pants, and it looks as though he's trying to stuff the rocket up his arse.
Well, I think we need to really vet the audience members before we bring them in next time, because there's a few sadists in there.
Yeah, that's it's not very good for Calvitto, but apparently we've got both Joe Worthington and Ross Wilcock doing a duet to sing us out on this episode.
So, funny theme this episode. So, started off with sort of gays, then Nazis, then the torturing of shit directors, and now we're back onto gays. I guess without further ado, Is Ross Wilcock even in the studio? I haven't seen him today.
No, he's still pulling this COVID thing. I really don't know what's going on with that, but we've got him on a Zoom call, and of course Joe Worthington is here in the studio with us.
Great. Joe, have you got your microphone?
Yes, I do. It's my own. It's shaped like a dildo, and at the top of it is suckable, and it tastes of strawberry and lemon.
Right.
A bit too much information there, Joe, but Ross, Ross, are you ready to sing with Joe?
We're covered. Well, don't believe that. but we're still going to make you sing anyway. Ross with Joe Worthington. How do you feel about that?
Good. I don't like him though, because I don't like his beliefs about gays.
Right, okay.
Well, I don't think we've got time to go into that eventually.
Sure, maybe next time.
But anyway, Joe, what was it that you planned to sing with Ross?
Oh, well, Ross, I don't know if you know this one. You probably do, because you're an arse bandit. And it's raining men, because I'm a man, and I love men. And so does Ross. And if Ross would ever like to have some bum sex with me, I would be definitely up for that.
No, I'm fully straight, me. I like minge.
Right, well, because you're especially a naughty, vulnerable man, I will pin you down and forcibly enter you so I can have my way.
No, you can't fucking do that, I'll whack you.
Yes, I'm going to get you. Oh, actually, fuck it. We're not doing the duet anymore. Right, Ross, this is for you, you little bum fart. Here we go. One way or another, I'm going to find you. I'm going to get you out to that council house. Yes. One way or another, I'm going to win you. I'm gonna get you. Bum sex with Ross. My favourites. Forcible entry. Lovely.
Right, well, that's the last time we're letting you sing.
Yeah, I don't think that has really gone down all too well there, and I'm sure Ross is now scarred for life.
I'm a bit like a glamour version of Liam Neeson in Taken. I will find him and I will hunt his anus down. If I really want to, I'll lick his bum. And then if I really, really want to, I'll put a finger in there.
Right, well, apologies to anyone that was offended by Joe's comments. Ross has actually ended the Zoom call himself. He doesn't seem very happy about what has just transpired, and I'm sure that is understandable.
We will still have to pay him though, which is annoying.
Well...
Didn't do any work today, but anyway, thanks for your coming in, Joe. Sure we can... Always good to catch up with you. And yeah, that's it for this week. I hope you all have a great 2021.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year and that.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.